This is Pranav Goa Thakurta from Edu TV Studio, New Delhi. Today, we have with us Lieutenant General Kulkarni, Lieutenant General Surendra Kulkarni, who is a director, Mayo College, Ajmer. Lieutenant General Surendra Kulkarni has served the Indian Army for about 4 decades. He was commissioned in 1975. In recognition of his special contribution, he has been awarded the highest peacetime distinguished service award in the armed forces, the Param Vasisht Seva Medal by the President of India. Parallel to his army career, he has pursued his academic interest. He is an economics graduate from the prestigious Ferguson College, Pune. He was a postgraduate UGC Merit Scholar before he joined the Army. He has 4 master's degrees, including an MPhil degree. He is an alumnus of Mayo College, Ajmer, and presently he is a director of Mayo College since January 2015. Welcome, sir.
Thank you very much, Pranav, for that.
Sir, as this is a quite different year for the students, a few of them have seen the school, some of them went for the practicals only, and their exams had been cancelled on the 1st of June. Now they are given the results on the basis of their 10th, 11th, and 12th marks, and they are unaware of that, what kind of marks they will be getting, because assessment is done by the board or the school. Prior to that, till 2019, a student had an idea about what kind of marks he or she will be getting. And different colleges have got different criteria of admissions. Like Delhi University, Mumbai University, they take on the basis of marks, cutoff list. Then prestigious colleges like IIT, NID, NIFT, they have their own examinations. Some of the colleges have state examinations. Many of the prestigious colleges have joint entrance examinations. In abroad, things are quite different. Like they check their resumes, internships, community services. Then also the marks also out there. I would request you to advise the universities and colleges to smoothen and ease the process of admissions. Over to you, Lieutenant General Surendra Kulkarni.
Thank you, Pranav, for that question. I will take this in 2 parts. One as it applies to Indian universities, and the other as it applies to foreign universities. As far as the students themselves are concerned, yes, there was a lot of uncertainty whether exams will happen or not. But as far as the marks are concerned, they have greater surety because they know what they got in 10th, they knew what they got in 11th, they know what they have earned during the current year, where 40% marks will go. However, 2 things happen in good schools. One, that when the internal marks are done in class 11 and in first half of class 12, schools are intentionally strict with their marking so that the children don't get complacent and work hard. So every past many years, statistics show us that the class 12 marks are at least 7 to 8% higher than the class 11 marks on an average. The second thing which is happening is that because leave out the universities who have entrance exams, if those who go by marks criteria alone also have an entrance exam, then actually you are now putting stress on the students to prepare for yet another exam. So therefore, my recommendation is that like we have a Viva, when you do research papers, based on a certain cutoff of marks, which should not be 99% and things like that. There's a large number of students should be invited for an online interview. And in that Viva or interview, which is online, it will be quite easy for university in charges to screen out to see which kind of student fits their bill better or not. So therefore, this idea of having an online interview should be done, number one. Number two, the dates for finalizing the admissions for the students should be spaced out after the results come for some time, because it's a normal thing for students to apply to more than one university, right? So they would like to know the results of multiple universities before they take the final call. My appeal to universities is, I understand their compulsions, but many of them say, no, you just take a call today, pay up the fees. So many families can't afford this, that you commit yourself to fees of 2, 3 colleges, knowing that most of that money will not come back to them. So this is, I think, one simple and easy step to implement for university. The second thing, when it comes to foreign universities, many of them, based on the provisional mark sheets, give conditional admissions. But in certain countries, the cutoff is by July, in certain other countries by August to receive results, even though the session starts in what they call the fall term, starts in September. So where our students have applied, say in the US, etc., we have requested those universities to extend this period by some time. But that is why I'm also appealing to Indian universities. Boys have applied to both foreign and Indian universities. If the Indian universities give a longer window for finalizing the choice, then the boys can take a call, either get a confirmation from the foreign university and then decide. And therefore, I think the foreign universities, in our experience, have been more forthcoming to allow us a window of submission of marks in August, because they have said 31st July is the cutoff for results. So in August, we can submit the marks, and we hope during August itself, they'll give us a decision. So if Indian universities, especially the well-known ones, allow this process to go into early September, and meanwhile conduct these interviews, I think it would give the fairest chance to the deserving students to get into the right faculty in the right university.
Lieutenant General Kulkarni, one more thing is there, especially in the lower middle class and some of middle class families also, the parents are very much worried because they are unaware of that, what kind of jobs will be there after say 4 years or 5 years, and what kind of course the student should pursue. And there is not even things are clear when the entrance exams are going to happen, and will these jobs exist in the future or not?
I think you've touched upon a very important issue. Traditionally, parents operating out of their time frame tend to narrow the choices for the students. Do engineering, do medicine, do law, whatever it is. As even our new education policy states, and this is the trend the world over, and many of our private universities already allow that you can mix and match between streams and pick subjects of your choice. Yes, the nature of jobs is changing, some jobs are vanishing, but certain human skill sets, your communication skills, your capacity for negotiation, your ability to do hands-on work, all these will always remain in demand. And even where you are having extremely automated high-tech industries, at the same time, the people interface is not vanishing.
Right.
Similarly, manufacturing is not vanishing. But yes, if you decide to go for a career which may not exist tomorrow, then you are narrowing your choices. Therefore, at the undergraduate stage, the students should arm themselves with as many options as possible, and then be adaptable to go into the kind of jobs that are on offer. Also, say people of my generation, I served in the army for nearly 4 decades. This new lot is unlikely to serve in the same profession for so long. But their skill sets will be in demand across professions, across industries, across economies, across geographies. And therefore, I think it is a far more challenging, far more interesting time for the students of today than tomorrow. You know it, for example, you are in the media. Even somebody who writes a good blog or has his own YouTube channel could be, even without a degree in his pocket, an extremely influential and an extremely financially successful person.
Great. Thank you so much, General Kulkarni. I'm sure, I think your both the answers will really help all the students, parents, teachers, even principals. Thanks for your time, Lieutenant General Surendra Kulkarni.